Hey, what's going on, everybody? GameShadamas here, bringing you a little Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. I rented this from Blockbuster last night, so I thought I would give you a taste in case you were deciding if you should pick this up or not. And speaking of Blockbuster, I'm pretty disappointed that they're going to be going out of business soon. They are the last real video store that is still in business. As you know, if you listen to some of my other commentaries, I really only purchase a few games every year, like the best first-person shooters or the games with the best multiplayer, like, you know, StarCraft 2, that kind of thing. But everything else I rent because you just go through them so quickly. And unfortunately, since all the video stores are gone, now GameFly will have a complete monopoly over the rental business. Yay, capitalism! But yeah, and I guess superior technology. But everything will go to digital download soon enough. But anyway, back to Star Wars here. Yeah, so this game is really just more of the same. I have to say, all around, I am kind of disappointed with it. I just beat the game, and I rented it last night. So the game is very short. I don't really feel like I even played it for that long. I don't know exactly how many hours it took me, but I would guess like 5 or something like that. So anyway, so the game's pretty short, and it's very scripted. It's very linear, which kind of sucks. You know, I feel like I was a little spoiled playing Vanquish a week or two prior to this. And if you haven't checked out that game, I did a little coverage on that. That is an amazing third-person action game. Definitely worth checking out. But you know, that kind of gameplay, there's a better foundation built around it. So, like for example, all the units in that game have multiple forms. There's many ways that they can attack you and stuff like that. So fighting the same units, you know, has a lot of replayability because there's many ways to approach it, and it's just really fun. But in this game, it's like everything is so scripted, and there's only like 1 or 2 ways maybe to approach things. You know, and they have like these little scripted moments where you're fighting like bigger units, you know, and then you do like the God of War like button, you know, combo kind of thing to finish them off. But they only have 1 death sequence, and there's really only a couple unit variations throughout the game that you can do that to. So I don't know, it's pretty disappointing. And then you have like these ridiculous moments where you have like, I don't even know, godlike force powers, like right here where you're grabbing you know, spaceship parts or whole battle cruisers out of space and just like winging them. And then all of a sudden, it's like then you're back battling, and like a stormtrooper can kill you, or you know you're doing these weak things, and you're like, well, why don't you just crush everybody in the room like instantly? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. And the storyline too, it didn't really seem to fit like within the whole context of the Star Wars universe. Like after having seen all the movies and stuff like that, it just seemed very forced. Like, okay, we want to make a sequel to this game. We want him to fight Darth Vader again, and blah blah blah. Okay, well, what can we like just scramble up? You know, and you interact with a lot of the key characters like that are throughout the saga. So you're like, okay, well, later, like, wouldn't this have an effect on a lot of the other outcomes that happen later on? So I don't know. It just seemed out of place. But you know, if for a quick rental, I mean, I highly suggest not purchasing this game because it's short. I mean, there's a couple challenge modes, and if you're like a hardcore Star Wars fan, then maybe. But I feel like you'll be disappointed after playing it through once, maybe twice. But you know, it's worth a rent. It's entertaining. It's pretty. It's action packed. You know, you'll be entertained as you play through it. But by the end, you'll be like, really? Like, I don't know. It just seemed like you could have done a lot better with you know, the universe and all the material and stuff that you could have done. Another thing that is kind of weak with it is there's 3 different things that you can unlock. There's costumes, there is lightsabers, and your powers. And you know, there's a decent amount of costumes. You know, if you're into that kind of thing, costumes really don't. I don't know. I don't really care. And the lightsabers are there's a decent amount, I guess, but they're pretty straightforward, and you just unlock them, and then you can't really like power them up or do anything special with them. You know, you can dual wield now, and you can have a different lightsaber in each hand, like that give you different powers. But beyond that, I mean, that's it. And then your force powers are pretty generic and straightforward. It's like force push, lightning, you know, grapple, like those kind of things. You know, and you can use them in certain kind of combo moves or in certain kind of scripted situations in the environment. But I don't know, it just seemed like they just really refined it back to a few things, and that's it, and really didn't push it or expand upon it. Like, I want to see like Star Wars in a Halo-like environment, like big environments with huge battles going on, where, you know, instead of doing these God of War scripted scenarios, like the AI should be smart enough where that just happens. Like, you know, he shoots rockets, you grab him with your powers and throw him at him and move on, so that the battling is a lot more fluid and a lot more action-packed. So, you know, if you are looking to buy a third-person action game, I highly recommend checking out Vanquish. It is far superior to this, and just really a blast to play. But, you know, like I said, this will entertain you, I guess, for a quick rental. And there are some, you know, ridiculous scenes, like every other couple of scenes is something like this, where you're like, you know, falling into orbit or doing something totally ridiculous and surviving it, and then, you know, all of a sudden you have to fight a couple stormtroopers and it's back to your regular old shenanigans. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, come check out my channel and subscribe, and I'll be back with some more great game coverage soon. Take care.